Anita, growing opposition over a teachers' union effort to conduct opposition research on groups opposing progressive agendas in public schools. Nicole Neily is founder and president of Parents Defending Education. She joins us now. Nicole, thanks very much for joining us this afternoon. I want to first get you on what William Lajeunesse was just reporting on, this idea that the government is going to be giving parents up to or nearly $7,000 to send their kids to private schools. You heard the opposition from teachers there saying that there's no accountability, at least with public schools. There's accountability to the public institution, people who are elected. And also, there has always been opposition to this from many, saying that it robs public schools of funding. What's your reaction to that?
I think it's laughable that the teachers' unions are claiming that there's no accountability. Let's think about who kept schools closed in America for 2 years, working behind the scenes with the CDC. Children have faced monumental learning loss, in many cases, which will never be made up. You know, it is impossible to fire teachers. I think about the rubber rooms in New York City. And so the fact that they are saying that this program is unaccountable is absolute garbage, because at the end of the day, if parents are not getting what they want from a school, then they will walk with their dollars somewhere else. That's accountability. Right now, families are trapped in failing systems, and that hurts the poorest and most the families that are least able to fend for themselves. So it's despicable that they're calling this program names.
So there's the National Education Association, large teachers union, passed a resolution that allocates more than $140,000 to create fact sheets on organizations that, quote, actively work to diminish a student's right to honesty in education, freedom of sexual and gender identity, and teacher autonomy. What is the practical effect of this spending, and how will it present itself in the classroom?
Sure. I mean, this is obviously intended to chill and terrorize people who oppose their radical ideology. It's intended to send a message not only to those groups that work on these issues on a regular basis, but also to average Americans who agree with those who don't want gender ideology shoved down the throats of their children. You speak up and we're coming for you too. It's bullying, it's intimidation, and you know, we've seen them run this playbook for years and years. It's not surprising. Last year they voted on a similar resolution to investigate organizations that oppose their critical race theory agenda. So it didn't scare us then, it's not scaring us this year.
So Fox News Digital reached out to the NEA, did not respond immediately to the request for comment. There have been previous statements, though, generally from the teachers' unions along the lines of that they're arguing that for trans people, their rights are under attack. What about trans kids in schools? How should schools navigate that?
Certainly, you know, children should be treated with compassion. I think where a lot of parents are concerned is what is taking place without their consent, without them knowing. We have tips from across the country of families who find out that their schools have gender support plans. Children are being transitioned behind parents' backs. Districts like in Wisconsin, Eau Claire, that said parents don't have a right to this information. We know that children do better when families are involved in their medical decisions, period, full stop. And so for teachers' unions, for school administrators to try and keep things like this secret from parents, cutting us out of this, is to the detriment of our children. And I think this shows yet again how out of touch the NEA is with the concerns of average parents who love their children.
Nicole Neily, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.